This is not gonna be a fun game. I'm sorry. I don't like demeaning my videos this way. Sure, there are gonna be some very interesting interactions here. Throughout this game, you get to see cool stuff, such as how I think G's model bioroids can develop into its full potential, which is in a horizontal deck, such as in your hub. I'm also going to show you how, when my opponent, a wizard player, plays a certain silver bullet, things can get really dicey for me. But overall, this is not going to be an entertaining game. But if you're here for the card interactions or for some deck building ideas, this is the spot for you. This is NEH against Wizard. So there are a couple of ways which NEH can deal with the Wizard onslaught. Wizard is able to suppress your remotes, and when they get to a thin enough amount, they can begin assaulting your centrals for victory. So one way to do this is to use Wombat City Hall, which is fantastic because it means that you don't have to draw through your deck and get flooded with agendas in HQ. I have no agendas in HQ, yet I have so many assets out. Partially due to good luck, but also because Wombat City Hall does so much work. And if you're spamming assets faster than Wizard can trash them, and as is this case, the case right here, I get to fire off Jeeves, which gives me an extra click, and we all know how important every single click is. Whoever controls their clicks the best wins the game. So I'm getting a good advantage here. With the early City Hall, I'm able to get some ground going, and even though my opponent trashes my Jeeves, I still have more coming on Wombat City Hall. Except that he played Salset Slums. That red resource there is a copy of Salset Slums, and this is going to be not very good for me. I don't run Mamba Temple. Museum of History. This is not a history deck. However, exiling my cards means that I cannot use team sponsorship to recur them, and it means that I can't use Jackson to recur them, which is quite a big deal. Possibly a game breaker. So, he eventually gets rid of the root of the problem, which was Wombat City Hall, and that got slummed as well. Now, slumming is not automated on Jinteki.net just yet, so we are keeping track manually. So far, 2 cards have entered the exile, with more to come. You can be sure of that. So, because of this, I should have realized pretty quickly that I need to start protecting my assets. This is not a game where I can just spam out as much as I want to and hope to win, because even if I draw into a Jackson, I cannot use Wombat City Hall to recur my temples and my G's bioroids. Even for Wizard, G's model bioroids is so difficult. 5 to trash translates to 2 to trash, which is quite a big deal. However, the fact that he can exile them once and for all is the game breaker. So, I had enough of spamming remotes. I knew that I wasn't going to be able to keep up, so I went with the agenda scoring route. I'm going to slot an Astro in behind the piece of ice and hope he doesn't find his way through the wrap round. Of course he does. So that's an Astro script down the drain, which is a very big problem. My opponent is doing a very good job keeping on top of all of my created assets, and I don't really see a way I can do anything right now. Leaves me a bit helpless here, but with a breaking news in my hand and an wide open HQ, I decide to score the breaking news to trigger both team sponsorships. So this is where the team sponsorships usually cause NEH to get out of hand. Usually you would just get so many remotes and so much money that they have to give up on trashing all your stuff. But against Wizard, this is not the case. I'm still very poor, and he can, most importantly, exile all my cards. So those cards that he trashed earlier on, his efforts were not undone, because I cannot resurrect those cards which he has exiled to the slums. So, dear oh dear. I'm still drawing to lots of good cards, mind you, but the fact that I cannot trigger team sponsorship to its fullest potential is a huge downside to playing against slums, and it definitely adversely affects my game a lot. So I need to come up with a new alternative plan. I do have a Viper in my hand which I really should be playing on one of my remotes. I just can't really find the credits to res it, which is such a big pain. At this point, I really should just be slotting stuff into iced remotes for that. Ever since Wizard came out, one very good way of defending against Wizard is to simply play more ice on your assets, and I really should be doing it here. Clearly, I'm not going to win in the horizontal department. And with slums, it's only a ticking time bomb before I run out of cards as well. The biggest issue with slums is that I'm very reliant on my fast advanced pieces for, well, scoring agendas. And he has already exiled 2 copies of my Jeeves Model Bioroids and is about to start exiling my Sansan City Grids as well. So this is very bad news. Every time I toss a fast advanced card out, one that usually costs runners 5 to trash, this wizard just says, hey, I'm gonna pay 2 credits, and it's gone for good. That is a huge problem for me. I'm relying on the fact that they have to spend so much money to trash my stuff, they don't have enough money left to run through my toll booths, then I can just score on my agendas regularly. Or they might not even check my new remotes, in which case I can slip a Bew or an Astral buy. Not with this guy. It's looking very bleak for sure. Even though I do have another breaking news in my hand that I can use to trigger both my team sponsorships. What's the use? And I'm still very poor. I'm still gonna trigger the team sponsorship here. But there's not much I can do with it. There is one more copy of Jeeves that I can install. The other 2 are exiled. Not a good idea since he'll probably exile the last one as well, which puts all hopes of my subliminal messaging into shipment combo off. For those of you who are not acquainted with the Jarvis deck, the HB deck that started this Jeeves trend rolling, the main combo is playing subliminal messaging followed by shipment from Sansan. That's 3 clicks which you will spend on playing operations, which allows you to trigger Jeeves Model Bioroids, allowing you to score a 3-2 from hand. So this is superior to Biotic Label for 2 reasons. Firstly, that it can be recurred with team sponsorships, and secondly, because it costs less influence. I'm spending my influence on Eli's and Vipers to make up the 6, as well as the 3 team sponsorships of course, to make up the 6 purple cards I need in order for Jeeves Model Bioroids to be free. And why not? Eli and Viper are both very nice ice to have. Sadly, my opponent's thwarting all my plans. This is a game where Biotic Label would help so much more compared to Jeeves Model Bioroids. So he finds my Exploder Palooza that I was trying to sneak by, but that's fine. I really wanted the money. Now that I have 9 credits, I can actually pay for my toll booth, which I'm immediately going to place on the remote, followed by the Bew. Hopefully he can get in. By running through my wraparound, yeah, he has run out of David tokens, so I should be able to get this Bew off. I might be forced to rest the toll booth, but that's fine. I can score it next turn anyway. So I was basically trying to tax him out of David tokens, but the Corroder really just killed things. My 2 iced up remotes are now dead. Those 2 wraparounds are useless because Corroder just gets through them so easily. Here I rest the Archangel because I really wanted to capitalize on him not having a David. And sure enough, he didn't have a David on the peddler, so I was able to bounce his KD Jones back. This was quite a big setback for my opponent. In a deck that really wants the runner to be poor, I managed to kill his KD Jones. Sure, KD will come back, but the 6 credits on it are gone, and that's quite a big deal. Unfortunately, by raising the Archangel, I leave my remote wide open for access, and sure enough, he fetches the Bew. You win some, you lose some. Not much I can do about that, sadly. So, I find my shipments from Sansan, but it's too late. Jeeves Model Bioroids are not available anymore for me to use. I'm gonna toss the game-winning Palooza here, game-winning for my opponent, not for me. I can't fast advance it, I have no way to score it. I have to advance it sometime in the future, when he's on very low credits. Hopefully that will happen. He runs into my toll booth, I'm going to toll booth tax him here, bringing him straight down to 0 credits. So that's possibly a scoring window for me. He spends the rest of his time running my central, which means that I can actually advance the Palooza and score it next turn pretty safely. So this is good. Forcing him to face check the toll booth was actually quite a big deal. The fact that he couldn't get past it and wasted a bit more time running meant that I had a clear window to go up to 4 points. One which is hardly afforded by double forks. Alright, shipment, advance, I'm on 0 credits, but hey, at least that agenda is out of circulation for good. I still need to score 2 more agendas, and that is going to be a big problem. Anyway, a lot of my cards are exiled. Don't be fooled by what's in archives. All my Mamba Temples are gone. A lot of Jeeves are gone as well. So I decided to slot my last final Jeeves into the toll booth remote. He's probably gonna get it, but that will cost him a lot of money. He also has to deal with the Sensi Actors Union, which I just installed. So that's going into the slums as well. So slowly but surely, I'm trying to toss a speed bump here and there against my opponent. Hopefully this will slow him down and give me some breathing room. as I click for credits because the Mamba temples are all gone. I have basically no economy at this point. Most of your economy is not you don't this deck doesn't really need much money because this is not a biotic labor deck. You can easily score from 0 credits with shipment from Sansan and G's model Bioroids. Unfortunately, that's not going to happen this game, so I actually need some money to score agendas on the Sansan that I just drew as well. So that's the G model Bioroids. It's going down, down to the wizard, and out. That's my last G's model Bioroids. He's going to hit my hand, see a Sansan secret. That is going to the bin as well. So plans thwarted there. But I do get a Palooza and a remote. I really wanted the Sansan City Grid, not so much to score agendas, but rather to bait him into running my remote with. Right now, I'm forced to toss the Palooza and the remote, which means that just one single run on the remote with 3 credits and he wins the game. It's quite depressing to think of it that way, so I'm just going to fortify my remote with another Toll Booth. That's the best I can do right now. So this is quite a polarizing matchup. If your opponent doesn't have the tools to deal with the horizontal nature of this deck, they just flat out lose after some time because you assert total board dominance. Whereas if you're up against a wizard, especially with Sunset Slums, gosh, you're in a world of hurt. He doesn't even have any pressure to trash my team sponsorships at all because I'm not going to be scoring any agendas anytime soon. And sadly, that's the reality. Games are very matchup dependent right now in this meta, and that is actually quite a problem with the game when a lot of how the game develops boils down to the deck building stage. If there's not much that I can do on my side to defend against Wizard with Sunset Slums, then is there even any point playing out this game? I'm just basically playing all the cards that I draw at this point. Sure, I really should have installed that Viper as a separate remote earlier on and kept taxing him every time he wanted to trash my stuff. That is something that I could have improved on, and surely that Eli would have come into play as well. But all in all, I think this matchup is highly unfavorable towards me, especially because I rely on team sponsorship recursion so much. And Sunset Slums just shuts that down pretty hard. Oh my gosh, I'm getting massively tongue-tied here. No choice here, gotta defend that remote. I'm going to force him to pay the toll. He's not very rich, but with double liberated available, gosh, he can get through my remote anytime. He just needs to find another David. And he's about to get my Bew. No, he doesn't. But I'm just going to speed up this video, put you out of misery, because with the porous nature of my remote and with no fast advanced tools available, I'm only dawdling the game on right now. Just holding agendas in my hand until he finally decides to cave in, going for one big medium dig to win the game. So that's it for the game. I don't really have much to comment on gameplay moves or strategies per se, but I just want to say that that wasn't a very interesting game to play. I lost interest roughly about halfway through the game where it was very clear that my opponent had a much stronger board state and I wasn't able to set up mine, so I was going to lose sooner or later. It just isn't fun for me to play this way. I don't really enjoy control style games that grind out to an inevitable finish, such as decks like RP Glacier back in the day. I didn't enjoy that either. And this is why, for those viewers who want me to play IG Bioethics Kill, I'm sorry, I can't bring myself to do it because I really don't enjoy this style of play. Well, if you do, good for you, but for me, I won't be playing this deck again. Thanks for watching, happy net running, goodbye.